Dan, we'll get you on eating pizza.
Hi everybody, just want to get your attention. Enjoy your pizza, enjoy your refreshments over there. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. I'd like to thank Ori for putting this all together. Let's hear her for her. She does so much for the county, so much for the Democrats of this area. My name's Nick DeStefano. For the people out there that don't know me, I ran for council last year in Pequannock, and I think I was the first person to run in almost a decade, and I did get almost 3,400 votes, which was almost double the amount any Democrat has had since 1982. So for a first time out, I think I did a pretty good job. And also, I've been very active working with the Flood Committee, with the Democratic Committee for quite a while now. So I'd like to thank everybody for really all the support, because it's been awesome. And what's it been, over a year, a little over a year, and I learned a lot, and hopefully when I run again in 2020, we can build on what we did before. I'd like to introduce Ori right now. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Just want to again thank everyone who's here for coming tonight. We've had several of these types of events throughout the county. Some of them are better than others, but this is by far the best so far. So thank you again. It's because of people like you who come out to events like this, people like Nick, who decide to run for office in towns where no Democrat has run in a long time, and people have to kind of whisper, I'm a Democrat too, right? So people like you make a huge difference in your communities, so thank you again. My name is Ore. I'm the political director of the Morris County Democrats. If you guys got a voicemail today, that was me. So anyway, thank you. I'm going to start by introducing Maria. She is running for assembly in the 40th Legislative District. Yeah, and she's going to come up and say a few words.
So, can everybody hear me? Because I just rather kind of be close up and instead of behind a mic, and then I'm sure, it becomes a problem. So I'm Maria Cordonnier, and I'm running for assembly in the 40th district. Oh, what's the 40th district? Well, it's a district that got gerrymandered in 2010, so that I've got 5 towns in Bergen, I've got 5 towns in Passaic, 2 marvelous towns, Pequannock and Riverdale, in Morris County, and 1 town in Essex.
You have Pompton Lakes?
I have Pompton Lakes in Passaic County. Thank you very much for coming. So, so it was really meant to stay in Republican hands, which it has for 40 years. And so what happens in the past is, you've got 4 county chairmen, 4 organizations, and they've got a lot of other things on their plate. So the 40th always kind of got, pushed aside. Well, for 2 years in 2015, 2017, we had great candidates in Christine Ordway and Paul Vaggianos. And I worked for both of those candidates, and they were wonderful. And they created a path to follow. I'm a councilwoman in Little Falls, and to give you a little bit of history about that, Little Falls had been totally Republican for over 40 years. So in 2014, I ran for the first time with two running mates, and they won handily by 1,000 votes. I lost by 33. Oh. So, yeah, that's what everybody did every time I was introduced. I would be, yes, that's Maria Cordonnier, and she lost by 30 votes. And everybody would love it. So I said, I got to run again just so I don't get introduced that way. So in 2016, I ran with my now mayor, James Damiano, my now council president, Anthony Scoba, and we had 2 seats already on council, and we ran for mayor and council, and we won by huge margins, and we became a mayor and dominant Democratic council for the first time in 40 years. But we didn't want to stop there. It gets better. You know, I forget who used to say, save it to the end. But in 2017, we had 2 more seats up, and we ran 2 more council people, and we won those seats handily, and so now we are totally 100% mayor and Democratic council. That is the first time in 110 years. And I'm applauding my teammates because they were fabulous. So that, and you add that to Passaic County, and for those of us who are here from Passaic County, all of our freeholders are Democrats. We just won the county clerk, Danielle Imhoff, who is a wonderful, lovely woman. First time in 40 years that we got that as well, and our sheriff. And I got to tell you, we have a great freeholder board in Passaic County. And what it shows is about what happens when everybody works together. So the path was there. To add to that, Mikey Sherrill, who she shared our campaign headquarters in Little Falls, and we endorsed her early on. That was an easy decision to make. She whipped Jay Weber's you-know-what, and Christine Clark and Laura Fortang are going to whip his you-know-what. But you're going to hear what great candidates they are. We are, and it's not because we're all women, it's because we're all great candidates. I want to make that statement first. We're past the point where, oh, you know, we got to take her because she's a woman, or we got to get a woman on the... We are 3 strong women who will be leaders in the assembly and that will fight for our residents. So we've got to, no matter what town you're from, we have to go out and fight for that. But getting back to Mikey, she took every ward in Wayne, and Wayne is the key to winning Passaic County. Josh Gottheimer, who's got a little bit of headwinds, and you know, there are times I don't always agree with his decisions, but he supports a woman's right to choose. He supports gun control. He supports LGBTQ rights. He supports a $15 minimum wage. So we have to, you know, focus on those things. But he handily won the towns that are in my district. So both Passaic County and Bergen County felt that there was a path where this was the time to win LD 40. In 2017, there were 6% more Republicans than Democrats. In 2019, in June, there's 4.75% more Republicans than Democrats. That's under 5%. That means if we get the vote out, we can take this election. So the things that, you know, I am focusing on, number one, we need strong, independent leaders to address our issues. You know, my opposition is, I forget their names because you hardly hear from them, is Kevin Rooney and Krista Phillips, both from Wyckoff. Never hear from them. We need leaders that are going to be there for all our issues. And you know, normally, you know, as a councilwoman campaigning, we always focused on local issues. And as an assembly person, I will focus on local issues. But in this stage, at this time, what's happening at the federal government level is our local issues. And we need to elect representatives that are going to fight back, in particular, for health care, affordable, accessible health care. So right now, our governor is looking at creative ways on how we strengthen accessibility to health care and keeping it affordable. Where have my opponents been in speaking out about health care? The salt tax. I don't know about any of you guys, but I paid $5,000 more in taxes because of that. And that's not just money out of my pocket. That meant I didn't buy a new computer. You know, we didn't make that trip we were going to make because I'm not rich. I had to figure out, wow, that's $5,000 more than I used to have to spend on my taxes. Where are they speaking out about this punishment, the punishment of New Jersey that's coming from the federal government? The Gateway Tunnel. our previous, I don't even like to say his name, governor, who right away when he got in, crushed it. Now, what happened then? We had the economic crisis. We became, throughout that time, second to last in economic development. We had no new jobs, no new businesses. The tunnel would have brought jobs, would have brought people, would have brought positive economics, and particularly to my district and other districts in northern New Jersey. They have not said one word about that. The third that's very close to my heart, and I know it's close, if you live in Pequannock, Pompton Lakes, is flooding. Back in August last year, Little Falls had a freak flood. I mean, it was really a freak flood, and it was wild to be out there with our first responders, helping people get out of their homes. We had $3 million worth of damages. We had people who lost their homes. So right away, Governor Murphy came. We all walked with him. He went into flooded out houses I wouldn't go into, God bless him. The mayor and my mayor and council, we walked, and so did my two opponents and our senator. So that's great. They walked, the governor helped us. We didn't get, FEMA denied us our application. We didn't get one word from them. So don't walk my town.
Right.
And shake hands with my residents and feel sorry for their damages. Do something about getting us federal aid. Not one letter saying, we're really sorry, we tried. So those things really made me want to run. And the last thing is, I really get upset when I hear people, I mean, I'm a Democrat. When I hear people go, well, it's an off-year election, low turnout, people aren't going to come out. I'm the top of the ticket. I'm the top of the ticket. You gotta get out and vote because your state legislature is so important. If you look back in history, in 2010, when Democrats lost so many state legislatures, they screwed around with voting rights. They screwed around with the teachers, the unions. And this year, 2020, is the census. This is so important. I mean, I had a committee in Passaic County for doing a complete county count, which is so important. We were undercounted in 2010. Republicans want you to be undercounted. So it's important that we answer the census, we get out the vote to vote, because then in 2021, you want Democrats to be there drawing the lines for the districts. So thank you very much for your time. You've got some great people, some two fabulous people candidates, and I can't wait to walk them. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Maria Coordinator. At this point, I'm going to bring up Laura Forking, who's running for Assembly in the 26th Legislature.
Hi, I'm Laura Forking. I'm the Verona Democratic Chair. Christine Clark and I are running in the 26th. Thank you to Mikey Sherrill for spending $8 million letting people know who Jay Weber is. Because we really have a chance thanks to that. And also Betty Lou DeCroce should be feeling very uncomfortable at this time as well. I ran in 2017. I ran off the line. I challenged the line. And I have no regrets about doing something that you're not supposed to do, because this time we're ready and fully staffed and are going gangbusters. I am running on a platform of healthcare, education, and taxes. I see them as a trickle effect to each other. Healthcare costs not just to our home life, but to our teachers. And that having be a big issue, not just for teachers wanting to keep their health care, and that's being threatened by Steve Sweeney, but also our schools' budget is always in flux because of the cost of benefits. So if we can stabilize health care, we can stabilize some of our school costs, which then will help our taxes. Healthcare also needs to include clean water, clean air, and clean living and clean food. Jay Weber and Betty Lou DeCroce, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, have very radical records, true conservatives. Anything that means the government's going to tell you what to do or tax you in any way is a no. Like, no to protecting the water from lead. No to teaching financial literacy in public schools. No to equal pay for women. No to gay people existing. Jay Weber would like gay people to have gay conversion therapy. And he wanted that ban overturned. So just a little sample of what we're up against, but we really have a chance to do it. It's boots on the ground, it's turnout, as you heard Maria say, it's not a persuasion year, but a turnout year. And I'm preaching to the choir, but wherever you can volunteer for any of these candidates, we really need you. Thanks for being here, and let's build this party. Let's keep going. Thank you.
Our third assembly candidate who's here tonight, Christine Clark. We'll bring her up to say a few words as well. And then we have two candidates for freeholder who will also come up for a couple of minutes and say a few words.
Thank you all for being here. Thank you to MCDC for doing this. Thank you to all of our candidates who are running, our freeholder candidates who are here, our local candidates who are here. It's people stepping up like us who are going to make a difference and change this political moment in our history, and it's so important to have all of you stay engaged, even when it's hard. My name's Christine Clark. I'm an environmental advocate, a mother of four, and a grassroots organizer, and I'm running for state assembly against, with Laura Fortgang and against Jay Weber and Betty Lou DeCroix. We are, focused now on turnout for this race. He is running scared. It's gone from ripping up signs to making phone calls to constituents, which means Laura and I are doing our jobs. Yes. So just today you may have noticed that we've both received the Gun Sense Candidate Distinction. We've also both been endorsed by a League of Conservation Voters, and there are a number of other endorsements on our respective pages. Check those out. We're very proud of those and have worked hard for them. I'm running on clean energy jobs, advancing healthcare, protecting our clean air and clean water, and broadly legislating with empathy and fiscal responsibility, which are so missing in this political moment. I've been walking the talk for a couple of years. As noted, I've been an advocate. A lot of us have marched together, held signs together, testified together. I'm on the steering committee with Jersey Renews. I am on the UN NGO Committee for Sustainable Development. I'm a climate reality leader. I am the chair of the Jefferson Township Democratic Committee, the former environmental director with Action Together New Jersey. I'm on the steering committees of the People's Climate Movement and the New Jersey March for Science, and I was one of the early organizers with NJ 11th for Change. So when I say that I stick by these values, I mean it. We are gearing up for this election, and we are amassing volunteers. It's going to take a grassroots army to flip these seats. As I'm sure you know, our opponents are well funded by private interests, but we have the people's power. We have the majority, we have the right views, and we're going to bring that down to trend and represent you well there. So sign up with either of our teams, get involved, please donate. Supplies cost money. We have a few events coming up. If you go to tinyurl.com/LD26weekends, our next couple canvases are on there. We're moving around the district to make sure that we represent everyone. We also do good works in our campaign because we're treating our candidacy as advocacy and showing the kind of leadership that people can expect from these candidates. So we have a planting event coming up on August 13th. We're going to be planting flowers at a senior center while the residents sit outside and listen to music and talk with us and watch us make their garden pretty. So feel free to sign up for that as well. Thank you so much for your involvement and activism. Stay engaged. You all inspire us and give us the energy we need on those low roller coaster days, and we will continue staying in the trenches and fighting with you. Thank you.
Awesome. At this point, we're going to bring up Cara Parmigiani. She's running for Morris County Freeholder.
Good evening, everybody. I'm so glad to see everybody here tonight. My name is Cara Parmigiani, and it is just like the cheese, and my job is to make you hungry for 2019. Winning this year is inevitable. Last year we came to 49% of the vote. With that same turnout that we were able to show last year, we can rock this. We can win. We know we have the numbers. Now here's a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Morris County. I was born in Morristown Memorial Hospital. I grew up in Morris Township. I then lived in downtown Morristown, and now I live in Morris Plains. It's a Bermuda Triangle of the Morristowns. I went at a skate, Menon Arena, and I've used all the county facilities and otherwise in my entire history growing up. I'm a third-generation small business owner in Morris County. I run my own law practice. and I've practiced in 15 counties in almost every division of the Superior Court. I worked with women and children in court. I've provided women with divorces for free through Unchained at Last, a pro bono organization, as well as working representing children in court and patients in psychiatric facilities, including Greystone, Trinitas, Carrier, Anne Klein, you name it, I've probably been there. And so what's really important to me is working hard for my community and getting the vote out there, and doing all that we can this year. I know I'm preaching to the choir at the moment. You're all hardcore, you very much. You show up here. I need to talk to that one friend. That one person that's not in this room at this moment is going to be the person that helps us flip the vote this year. And I'm very fortunate. I'm running, again, with all these wonderful women for Assembly, but also Carrie Amaro, who's about to come up here, and Dave Timpanaro. He's running for freeholder with us. He's an outstanding gentleman, and you should get to know him. He has his information up there, as well as the sheriff candidate, Bill Schiavella, and our surrogate candidate, Michael Thompson. And it's all very important to get to know these people, and they'll be coming around. We are relentless. There's almost no place where we're not, if you look at our Facebook pages. But we can't wait to help you answer questions and to, again, flip Morris County blue. This is a very historic race. It's the first. It'll be our chance in 46 years to flip over the freeholder board, and we can do it with your support. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
And now we have Carrie Amaro, she can come start running. She's also running for Morris County Freeholder.
Hello everybody, thank you for having me. My name is Carrie Amaro, and I'm a Randolph resident. I've lived there for the past more than 15 years with my kids. I have 2 young adult children. I guess they're my babies, but my daughter is 25 and my son is 23. And I am so blessed to have lived in this community. I am a controller. I have my master's degree in accounting. I've been practicing as a controller for 13 years. And what I want to bring to the Freeholder Board is accountability, transparency, and ownership of responsibility to the community. I want to make sure that the community is being heard, that we're watching what's going on at all the levels that we're responsible for, which are 6, which have to do with, from things from recreation to law in our county structure. Why did I decide to run? Essentially, the reason why I decided to run was because of the past presidential election. Many of you heard this before. I want to use this platform to remind all of us to please look at what's going on in our children's lives, to look at how they're responding to the things that are happening in our community. My children, who are very ambitious, my son is going to NGIT for architecture, my daughter graduated from Montclair with her accounting degree and is now at Columbia University studying, what's that called? AI and coding. And I saw them with this past presidential election grow quiet and grow not knowing how to respond to something. So you see children or you see young adults, if you know any young adults, you know that they feel, and you can remember when you were a young adult, you felt you could take over the world. You felt you could deal with so many different things. And with this past presidential election, with the disrespect of women, with simple human indecency, they just kind of grew quiet and reflective. And I couldn't let them not see me stand up and show them this one lesson. I've raised them by myself for 21 years. They've seen me go through a lot. And I could not take this platform and not show them that the one more lesson I can give them. And that's to fight or to stand up for when you feel that something is wrong. When you feel that things are just not right. You have the power in you. You have a voice, and it's up to you to make a difference. And that's why I'm running. So please get out there.
Let's give it up one more time for all the wonderful candidates who came. Last but not least, we have our fearless leader, Chairman Chip Robinson. He's going to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Thanks, Ray. Let's give a round of applause for Ray Obiwumi, our political director for the Morris County Democrats. She helped organize all this. Some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Chip Robinson. I'm the Morris County Chair. Or Ray tells me I have to about 7:58, so I'm going to make it short and sweet. I want to thank all of you for coming. Obviously, we've got to get rid of Donald Trump next year. He's a horror show. He's an embarrassment. Tonight's debate will certainly set the tone for that. But we have a very important election coming up on November 5th. So I'm really hoping that all of you in this room tonight will take the time between now and November 5th to really focus in on our state, county, and local elections. Because it's important that we affirm what we did last year. That's defeat Jay Weber again. We defeated him for Congress because he was so far to the right. Well, he shouldn't be representing us in the legislature either. We have the two women running for that seat here tonight, Laura Fortgang and Christine Clark. They need our support. In a low turnout election, if we turn out our people, we can win these two seats. I also saw Marie Corday over there earlier. She's running in the other district. Marie's district includes the town of Pequannock, which we're in, and Riverdale. And the district that Laura Fortgang and Christine Clark are running, it includes Butler, Montville, Lincoln Park, and Kinnelon, and Rockaway, Jefferson, and a whole bunch of others. But for your purposes, it includes Butler, Lincoln Park, Kinnelon, and those towns. But we really need you to focus on these state legislative elections. Why do state legislatures matter? Because Republican state legislatures take away our civil rights. They gerrymander. They take away women's rights, rights to equal pay, rights to control your own body, funding for Planned Parenthood. Care for our environment is threatened in Republican-controlled legislatures. And with the Republicans controlling the federal government, it's that much more important that we hang on and expand our legislative majority, which is what we can do by electing Christine and Laura and Marie, who was here earlier. At the county level, we haven't won countywide seats since, as I like to say before I was born, since the Watergate era, but we have our best shot to do that. Last year, we got between 47 and 49% of the vote for these countywide offices. Our candidates, Carrie, Cara, Dave, who's not here tonight, Bill Schiavella, and Michael Thompson represent our values. The 5 Republicans running do not. Sheriff Gannon is far to the right on immigration. He loves Donald Trump. You get to Heather Darling, who's the Republican running for surrogate, very, very conservative, goes to the gun range and brags about it. Just a lot of things that aren't consistent with what we believe. Michael Thompson is a surrogate, is somebody who will be there for all families, whether they're straight, LGBT, whatever their background. And Cara and Carrie reflect our values. Cabana, Mastrangelo, and Dave Filippo do not. So we think we can win all these races. And I tell this to my candidates, and I tell this to you guys. The truth is we can win all these races if our people turn out. But we have to turn out. Just like last year, we felt we could not lose Mikey Sherrill's race for Congress. We cannot lose these races. So enjoy the debate tonight, and I really hope to see you on the campaign trail between now and November 5th. And I'll turn it back to Rebecca. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you again, everyone, for coming. If you could all just find a seat, we can bring some more seats forward. These seats are also available. We're going to turn on the television and watch the debate. What you really can't hear.